The water comes up quite a bit. Advance is probably over 10 feet. I'm gonna guess this is a puffer fish, or was rather, or the remains of one. Almost looks like a porcupine. This would definitely be the spot to camp. The only thing is, there's a pretty steep, rugged hill I would have to get out of. Climb up to get out of here. So, I'm not 100% I can do it. I might be able to get a local to help me tow me up, I guess. Worst case. So I am standing on the location where one Yahoo posted pictures of their camper here in the wrong bay. They posted it over by the lighthouse. So it took me a fair bit of exploring to actually find this spot, and it is sweet. Funny how different bays have different types of rocks on them. Like this beach is much more colorful, more cobblestone. So this drive that I do today on this day is 4 hours and 15 minutes, 322 kilometers. Of course, I'm hauling the trailer, sticking to the 80 kilometer an hour speed limit. So this drive onward, this is a beautiful bay in here. Beautiful. But as I drove past, I'm scouting out spots that I can boondock. I'm not interested in camping by the road on these beautiful beaches, and they are. And the thing is, it's basically parallel parking. Camper, RVs, all parallel parking beside each other. That, as beautiful as all this is, I can do better. I will do better. But once you start cutting across away from the ocean, the drive is very uninteresting. There is a good climb out of here, and I end up staying right here for the night. It's nothing special, but it was a night just so I could crash, get up in the morning, and continue my drive over to La Paz, where I'll hit a Walmart. And unlike the Walmarts back home, they aren't that similar, like food-wise. So I was a little disappointed that way. And the prices aren't great at the Walmarts here. There are grocery stores you can do better at and probably get a different selection. So the end goal, though, will be for me to get to here. The following video you'll see. But for now, this video is about getting halfway there. And the reason I drove this distance and not further is because I spent the morning trying to find that other camp space. This was nice enough to camp at. It was fine. It's just more public and locals. So for a night, it was great. But I was there basically, you could say 2 days, 2 nights. So that, my friends, is kind of sums up that day's drive, and you'll see the footage on it. And I'm showing it as it is, and I say that because there is a lot of litter, a lot of garbage along the roadsides, and you'll see that quickly as we go past. And another common thing to see on the roads are these little memorials or temples that people have put in some serious effort to build, and they actually come and revisit them to respect those who have passed, and maybe they are from accidents that have happened right there. But it's very, very big, and I don't know if that's an older generation or will that carry on into the next. So that, my friends, I'm stealing that from my Mexican friends. They always say that, my friends. I like how that sounds, my friends. That sums up this video's drive. They do a lot of different markings on the road, and this is one example warning you that there is something coming, like a sharp turn. And there's also little dimples they put on the road to help alert you. In case you visually didn't see it, you'll feel it, the vibration. Good, good vibrations. This is the only area where I actually saw some form of agricultural activity, some irrigation. You've got corn and probably soybeans or something along that line. And there was also, once I made the turn to head south, solar farm. So that was a surprise to me. And both are the only ones I've really seen, other than some agricultural growing in Todos Santos. Now this is a little bit of a head. I haven't gotten to the southern tip yet, but I just wanted to give you an example of what I do when I go somewhere. I mark everything. I go explore, not just the same spots that people tell me to, but I look for other resources to find out more things, and sometimes I just go out there and find something really cool on my own. And a little further on in a couple, 3 videos, you're going to see something that I just was in awe about. And when I told some of the locals, they didn't even know it was there. So, just to give you an idea. Let it all grow. See? So, and how I do it is I keep track of everything. Hikes, the whole 9 yards. Even though there are apps that hold, places that you can camp and stuff like that, I still add them because there could be a day that they want more money. It may not be there anymore. all kinds of things. So I keep track of everything. So anything that I color in blue means I drove my blue 97. Anything in that orange, coppery kind of color was a fat bike. All the other colors are just from places that I end up hiking. So, yeah, am I blowing it up? You bet. That's just the way I am. This, to me, is full-time boondocking, overlanding. I'm a doer. I'm not a follower. I'm finding my own path. You should too. Kind of a different cactus. They're all kind of like that. Here's one of the bigger ones for sure. It's pretty big for this style. Of course, like all cactus, I mean business. All right. Back scratcher. Kind of a couple different cactus here. This particular one, and then this type, which I think is an Oregon pipe, but don't quote me on it. But interesting that similar shapes have grown differently. Whereas this bad boy is like, wow, versus, whoa.